President Donald Trump's inauguration was nothing short of a family reunion. However, it was the 6'7", 18-year-old Barron Trump who stole the spotlight.
A very tall son named Barron. Has anyone ever heard of him?
Barron Trump, who unexpectedly stole the spotlight. A very tall son named Barron. Has anyone ever heard of him? For years, Barron Trump has been recognized as the quiet, reserved member of his influential family. Yet, he recently made a move that no one saw coming. While his father gears up for another round in Washington, Barron is deeply focused on his studies as a college freshman. But that doesn't mean he'll remain in the background for long. If anything, there's bound to be more Barron-related content on the way after Inauguration Day. For years, Barron has stayed in the background, allowing his family to dominate the headlines. But now, something has changed. Suddenly, he's stepping forward, making people wonder. Why now? Has he decided it's time to carve out his own identity, or is this just the beginning of a much bigger shift? One thing is certain, the world is watching, and the big question remains. What's next for the youngest Trump? Unlike his siblings, Barron has always stood apart, not because of what he has done, but because of what he hasn't. While his brothers and sisters have spent years in the public eye, actively supporting their father's political career or running the Trump Organization, Barron has deliberately chosen a path of privacy. As the youngest of Donald Trump's 5 children, he has remained an enigma, watching from the sidelines while his brothers and sisters took leadership roles, delivered speeches at political conventions, and cemented their place in the Trumpy legacy. Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump, children from Donald's first marriage to Ivana Trump, grew up in the public eye, becoming key figures in their father's business empire and political ventures. Their sister, Ivanka Trump, went even further, serving as an official White House advisor alongside her husband, Jared Kushner. Even Tiffany Trump, born from Donald's second marriage to Marla Maples, made public appearances in support of her father's campaigns. In contrast, Barron was rarely seen at major political events. He never gave speeches or made headlines the way his siblings did. His absence only deepened curiosity. Why was he different? Was it a personal decision, or was there an intentional effort to keep him away from the family's highly publicized affairs? One of the biggest reasons for Barron's low profile is undoubtedly his mother, Melania Trump. Known for her fiercely private nature, Melania has always put Barron's well-being above everything else. Even during her tenure as First Lady, she largely stayed out of the political limelight, focusing instead on raising her son. Insiders have noted that she has always been deeply protective of Barron, ensuring that he has as normal a life as possible, despite the immense fame surrounding their family. Unlike his older brothers, who were quickly immersed in the business and political world, Barron was kept out of the public eye. Melania made sure he wasn't used as a political tool. Her protective nature wasn't just about keeping Barron away from politics, it was also about shielding him from criticism. Over the years, Barron has been unfairly scrutinized, something Melania has never taken lightly. When actor Peter Fonda made an inappropriate remark suggesting Barron should be taken from his family as a political statement, Melania swiftly reported it to the Secret Service. And when Stanford law professor Pamela Karlan joked about Barron's name during Donald Trump's impeachment trial, Melania quickly condemned the remark, stating that a minor child deserves privacy and should not be used for political gain. Even though Karlan later apologized, the incident reinforced Melania's unwavering commitment to protecting her son. Another major influence in Barron's life has been his grandparents, who reside at the Trump family's Mar-a-Lago estate. Melania's parents, particularly her mother, have played a significant role in his upbringing, surrounding him with family rather than the high-profile individuals who typically make up Trump's inner circle. Sources close to the family emphasize that Melania has been fully dedicated to Barron, ensuring he is raised in a stable and secure environment. While some may see Barron's reserved nature as mere shyness, others believe it points to a deeper sense of independence. Unlike his siblings, who seem to have naturally embraced the fame and power associated with the Trump name, Barron appears uninterested in stepping into the spotlight. Whether this is a temporary phase or a long-term choice remains uncertain. However, as he grows older, the world continues to watch, wondering if and when he will decide to step out from the shadows and define his role within the Trump dynasty. Turning 18 is a major milestone for anyone, but for Barron Trump, it signified much more than just adulthood. It was a moment that changed everything. For years, he had been a quiet figure within one of the world's most talked about families, always present, yet largely unnoticed, while his father dominated headlines. But stepping into adulthood brought new expectations, new pressures, and one critical question. Who would he be now that the world viewed him as his own person? Growing up as the youngest, Trump meant living under intense public scrutiny. Every appearance, every moment of silence, every rare smile or gesture sparked endless speculation. Unlike his older siblings, Donald Jr., Eric, and Ivanka, Barron never took center stage. His brothers and sister embraced the Trump brand, diving headfirst into their father's business empire and political career. They delivered speeches, campaigned, and became high-profile figures in their own right. Even Tiffany, his half-sister from Donald's second marriage, occasionally stepped into the public eye. But Barron? He remained a mystery. While his siblings built their careers under the Trump name, Barron stayed distant, appearing uninterested in the fame and power that came with it. But turning 18 may have changed everything. Suddenly, he wasn't just the youngest Trump anymore. He was legally an adult, capable of making independent choices regarding his life, career, and public image. And with that newfound independence came the lingering question: would he follow in his family's footsteps or forge his own path entirely? The pressure wasn't just from within the family, it came from the world outside as well. Politics moves fast, and the Trump name remains one of the most controversial in modern history. Whether he wanted to or not, Barron was now stepping into a world that had already formed opinions about him before he had even spoken a word. Did he feel the need to take a stand, to set the record straight, to step into the political arena, like his father and brothers? Or was this about something more personal, a realization that it was time to stop being a silent observer and start defining himself on his own terms? Looking back, the signs of change were there. Over the past year, Barron had been making more public appearances. Though he remained mostly silent, his presence spoke volumes. He carried himself with a newfound confidence, standing taller, looking more assured. Small moments, his body language, his interactions, the way he handled the cameras, all suggested that the once shy teenager was stepping into his own identity. It wasn't just about growing up, it was about transformation. And then, finally, the moment arrived. After years of watching, listening, and staying in the background, Barron made the choice to step forward. His years of silence had led to this, a turning point, not just in his life, but in how the world would now perceive him. He had spent his childhood under the weight of a name that carried enormous influence, expectations, and controversy. But now, he had something else, a voice, and what he chose to do with it was entirely up to him. For Barron Trump, this wasn't just about breaking his silence, it was about taking control of his own story. Stepping out of the shadows and determining his place in a world that had long expected him to remain quiet. Now, all eyes are on him. Not because of his last name, but because of the question that lingers. What will he do next?